I reached in his bag because I saw two of my coins in there, and I pulled out a handful of coins, and I said, these are my coins.
Hello, silver fans. This is T, and you're in the place to be for silver education, acquisition, and entertainment. Hey, thanks for watching, everybody. In today's video, you'll be treated to an interview with a coin dealer who caught a coin thief red-handed. Hey, if you enjoy interviews like this one, be sure to hit that subscribe button to see more. And while you're at it, hit the bell notification to be alerted for the next one. Enjoy! Okay, Andy, A.R.I. Coins here in Maryville, and I've been in your shop before. You've got a nice shop here. Maybe I'll show the shop even a little bit later. But first, I've got to ask you, everybody here in Northwest Indiana is buzzing about this story. I mentioned it on a previous video, then I found out that you were heavily involved, pretty much the center of what happened in St. Charles, Missouri, just outside of St. Louis. Big coin show. Tell the audience what in the world happened.
Well, I'm a wholesale dealer, and there were several wholesale dealers at this show. And a gentleman named Kenneth that was a regular that everybody knew. He had been vouched for originally by another dealer who did quite a bit of business with him. And for the last several years, he's been working the local shows. He's from halfway between Springfield and Bloomington, Illinois. And he would go to the shows, and I caught him while I was showing him coins. I caught that he had two of my coins in his hand.
Wow.
And I tried to watch what he did with those, and when he gave me back the box, he hadn't picked anything out of the box, and the coins were no longer in his hand. So when he was finished looking, I said, Kenneth, I'm sorry if I'm wrong, but something doesn't seem right here. And I said, I need to look in your bag, because he had his bag right down next to him at the table, and it was open.
Right.
And when I saw it the first time, it was open, and then later I saw that after he saw me see it, he closed the top of the bag.
And during this time, were you working with other customers and things like that?
I actually had a friend of mine who was a dealer from California, was at the table on the outside of the table, and I asked him to keep an eye on this guy, and that's when the guy closed his bag. And so before he left, I said, I'm sorry if I'm wrong, but I need to look in your bag. And he opened his bag for me and said, there's nothing in here. Well, I reached in his bag because I saw two of my coins in there, and I pulled out a handful of coins. And I said, these are my coins. They're in my flips. They have unique handwriting on them.
And what was his response immediately?
Well, I didn't put those in there. So I reached in and took out another handful of coins.
Wow.
He goes, well, I didn't put those in there. And now security's coming over, and they're helping me empty the bag. I knew he had stolen 2 coins from me. It turned out he had 16 coins from me.
That's incredible.
He had, once the police got there and emptied his money pouch, they had 4 coins he stole from a dealer named Leonard Stanley worth about $9,000, and another dealer named J. King from Indiana. They had about $32,000 of his coins.
Wow, that is absolutely incredible that man would be so brazen. Some of my friends that were there, Paul and Ed Beck, they told me there was kind of a big brouhaha where there were other people kind of clamoring around as this was all unfolding.
Right. We brought over Leonard Stanley. Leonard did say that he did buy 1 coin from him, but he had 4 other coins worth $9,000, high-end Morgan dollars. J. King said they had bought some stuff from him. See, the guy's MO was to bring up a box of coins for you to look at. So while he's looking at your inventory, while you're looking at his inventory, he's stealing from you because you're distracted. So he's very good. Like I said, I only saw him steal 2 coins. He had him in his hand. He had him kind of in his hand like this, and I just saw the corner of the coins. I could just see that he had him in his hand, and then they were gone. And so he was arrested by the St. Charles Police Department, and he was taken to St. Charles County Jail, where the judge gave him a $50,000 all-cash bond, which is a significant bond for that. He's a 69-year-old man, and we believe one of the dealers there knows that he was able to steal 4 coins from him at a show in Iowa. The guy travels from state to state in the area.
Incredible.
And now we have his picture. I'll show you his picture.
Yeah.
This is his picture. This is his picture off of Facebook.
That's incredible.
This is
so this guy is a professional.
This guy is a professional. Like I said, here he is with the with being held by security at the show. And he does not have a good look on his face. He's not happy because when you're 69, even though it's his first offense, because it was such a large amount of money, it looks like the St. Charles is going to bring 3 felony charges against him, which the worst of which, Class C felony, carries 3 to 10 year penalty.
That is crazy. And to think, I wonder how many years this guy has gotten away with this. Obviously, wasn't his first.
He's been around for 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
And he may have been stealing from everybody for all that time.
Kind of greedy. I mean, you would think if a guy got away with $5,000 or $6,000 worth of coins, that would be
first 2 people. He already had a $41,000 payday, and that wasn't enough for him.
Incredible.
Had to keep looking, keep trying.
It makes me wonder what makes people tick. Is this some psychological condition this man has? Does he make a living doing this? What in the world?
Well, supposedly the dealer who recommended him to several people said that they would leave him in their back room by himself.
Oh my goodness.
And once they found this out, they went back and looked at video to see if he was stealing from them. And they had vouched for this guy, and so people are upset with them.
Oh my goodness.
But they may have just be victims also, as everybody else is.
Yeah. Did you have to go back down there to testify, or is that in your future?
That's in the future, yes.
Okay.
Both myself, Leonard Stanley, and Jay King all told the police that we will come back to testify against him.
Okay.
Okay. So.
Well, good for you. Some people might think, well, I got my coins back. I'm not traveling 4.5 hours to St. Louis or St. Charles. But good for you for doing that, and for the community.
Right. And the best thing, too, is that we have his picture now. We have his name. We're notifying all the shows in the area that he should not be allowed in, that he did get caught red-handed stealing. And he did admit to the police officer after some questioning that, he put the stuff in his bag.
Wow.
So.
Andy, how long have you been in the business?
I've been a full-time professional dealer for just over 25 years.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you've probably seen it all in that 2.5 decades.
I've had other robberies. I had a robbery at the Fun Show in 2000.
Wow.
The guy admitted to the police that while looking at my coins, he took some of his coins out and accidentally got my coins mixed in with his coins. Later, not knowing where he got those, he sold them to another dealer while at the same time mixing some of that dealer's coins in with his own.
Oh, brother.
So, and that guy was from, his name was Kenny Hill from Temperance, Michigan. We passed around flyers. He showed up 2 weeks later at a show in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And when someone handed him the flyer I had made, explaining exactly what he admitted to the police that had his picture on it, he got petrified and ran away.
Wow.
And
yeah, so I'm a member of a couple coin clubs. One of them met just last night. What you told me was kind of told to us secondhand by a couple of club members, and we were all just amazed at this guy's cojones to go around and doing this in front of professional dealers like yourself.
I'll tell your listeners something to look for. If you're a dealer, basically what a thief like that will do, and I'll go through it, he'll flip through a box kind of like this, where he's not really looking at the coins, he's looking at the value. I did have one thief at Baltimore who would pull coins out, look at them, and he would pull all the expensive coins and was putting all the expensive coins in the front. Now, he happened to get arrested by security just before he made his move on me because somebody else had him on video and they were watching him, and they realized what he was doing. He was moving all the expensive coins to the front of the box.
Wow.
Okay, so that's something to look at. Most dealers, if they're going to look through a box of coins, they look one coin at a time, often pulling every coin out to look at it. So if someone is flipping through a box just kind of haphazardly, they're not really looking at it, they're probably setting you up to get robbed.
Got it. And so part of the topic, or one of the topics last night was, as a dealer, because we're in the coin club, there are quite a few vest pocket dealers, and we've got a show coming up actually. And so what they wondered was, what rights does a guy on this side of the table have as far as grabbing somebody's bag, putting their hands on them? Because, like, a lot of guys, myself included, might be tempted to put their hands on this guy's shirt and shake the coins out of his pockets.
A lot of it depends on the state you're in. St. Charles County is the one of the most conservative counties in Missouri. Okay, I asked him, I told him, I'm sorry if I'm wrong, but I need to look in your bag. Now, he could have refused that, at which point I would have got security. And so I saw him with 2 coins in his hand, then the coins were gone, and maybe he put them back in the box, but I want to look in his bag. He's at my table, you know. In some jurisdictions, for example, in Baltimore, Maryland, unless the person actually leaves the convention center, they haven't been considered to commit a crime.
Right.
Which by that time, it's hopeless of catching them.
Yes.
So therefore, in that case, it's more of just getting your coins back, and they're just going to slap the guy on the wrist anyways. But here, because I rent this 10 by 10 square foot section.
Yes.
Once you conceal material, then it's attempted theft.
Right.
And once you put stuff in your bag and walk away with it, then it is theft.
Right.
So it's different jurisdictions have different amounts. But I mean, if you suspect someone is stealing, do not let them leave your table. Yell, scream if you have to, call for security.
Right.
The police can search them if they're suspected of a crime, and you just have to be pretty sure about what you're doing. That's why I told him, I said, look, I'm sorry if I'm wrong, but something is not right here. And this sixth sense is going, this is wrong, this is wrong. And like I said, I knew he stole 2 coins from me. He had 16. He was very good at what he does. Thieves like this practice.
Wow.
If you ever watch anyone at the poker table that can shuffle their chips, they keep doing the shuffle, keep shuffling their chips.
Sure.
These guys practice sleight of hand.
That's incredible.
Right.
Absolutely.
So you just have to realize that this is probably a full-time job for him. I mean, he had over $40,000 worth of coins that he could have easily sold for $35,000 at another show.
Yeah. Speaking of other shows, I mean, you travel around the country, and shows like that happen on a pretty frequent basis, correct? At least once a month or so. There, somewhere in the nation, there's a big show like that, right?
There's usually 1 to 2 big shows every month.
Okay. Yeah. So what an opportunity for a guy like that. Thank you for taking him off the streets for those other dealers and dealers all over the country, because who knows where this guy has been.
Right. We know he's been to Iowa shows. He's been to the Missouri show for several years. He goes to the Springfield show. He comes up to the shows in Chicago, Central States. I mean, pretty much wherever there's dealers that are going to be there, and if he sees an opportunity to steal, he's probably going to go there.
Wow. Now, Andy, hey, you just told me a minute ago, switching subject, you just started your own YouTube channel?
Right. I started... when I was younger, I loved talking to the old-time dealers and listening to the stories about the history of the coin business.
I hear you. I had interviewed Arthur Knight not long ago, and we've done a few videos, and boy, talk about a wealth of knowledge.
When I was first starting in the business, I got a chance to set up at the Michigan State Show with a friend of mine named Chris Young, and we were right next to Silvertown. And I loved to sit down and was slow, talk to Leon Hendrickson. Because he had some wonderful stories about things he bought and saw and things he did.
I read his biography. Fascinating gentleman, fascinating life that man had. He and his wife.
Yeah. And not everybody can write an autobiography or get a biography written about them. And so my YouTube channel is basically going around and interviewing older dealers and listening to the stories and the history. And first gentleman I interviewed, his name is Richard Burdick. I have 28 or 29 15-minute sessions with him.
Okay.
And it's about his life. He helped build 2 wonderful coin collections. He helped build the Firefox collection, and he helped build the Pope collection.
Okay.
And he's an avid collector of exonumia and coins his whole life.
Okay.
And this is basically his life story. And it's not everything that he told us, but I do it in a fairly candid, unedited format where we do one take. And if you make a mistake or you say something you shouldn't say, well, that's just there for the record, and that kind of adds to the story. So, well,
I'll tell you what, you just got a new sub. I'm going to also put your information down in my video description, and so people can go find it, find you, subscribe, and I can't wait to dive into some of the content that you've got out there.
Great.
Well, thanks for the time and the opportunity to chat.
Thank you.
Hey, before I show you what I purchased, special shout out and thank you to these channel members who support my efforts to bring you videos just like this one. And thank you for watching. Now, let me show you what I bought. And hey, take a look at this one. A little art bar and a Boston Tea Party. Pretty nice. And a horse, a snake. You get a little theme here. I kind of like animals. So does Mrs. T. South East Refining. There's a Panda. Kind of interesting there. A little trade unit. So not something you see every day. And when that happens, hey, I pick up that silver. National Bars, hey, with the serial number and a little Boba Fett round. And hey, thanks for watching, everybody.
Peace.